This winter storm that's supposed to hit this weekend is projected to impact millions of people along the East Coast and in the South. Are you ready? What's going on, fam? Dre over here at Set Apart Gardens, man, where we teaching beginners to get back to the land. So if you are a beginner and you want to become self-sufficient, you are in the right place. Real quick, I want to come to y'all. Y'all know I'm very solution oriented, and I just got word really how bad this winter storm is projected to be, and what the potential it has to do. Like, I'm talking about power outages, you know, snowstorms, ice storms. I'm talking about road closures, you know, stores not being open. So this thing is serious. And what do I always preach? I always preach preparedness, not fear. I'm not trying to get nobody to panic, you know, because this is the thing. Let's say a lot of the impacts don't necessarily happen, like the power outages, like the freezing temperatures and different things like that. Guess what? It never hurts to be prepared. So I want to come to you today and teach you what you can do, some things that you can do to be prepared for what's, you know, coming this weekend. All right, so here's the number one thing, right? You know, we want to make sure that we are staying warm. Let's say in the event there is a power outage where you live at, if you don't have a generator already, I recommend you trying to get one. You can go to Tractor Supply, you can go to Harbor Freight, I want to say Walmart. I mean, you can go to any big box store and get you a generator. It doesn't have to be a big generator. You can get you just a small generator or some sort of portable charging station to where you can keep your phone charged, you can plug things up in, but a regular size generator will do the job. So that's the first thing I recommend is having a generator, just in case your power goes out. You will have something as a backup to provide you light, to provide you heat, to provide you electricity so you can cook food, all of those type of things. So that's the first thing. But here's another thing as well. Let's say your power goes out and the temperatures are below freezing, or the temperatures are freezing. You want to be able to layer yourself. You want to have clothes like cotton clothes, wool clothes that will keep you warm. You want to put layers on in your house, right? You want to close as many doors as you can. That way air is not just coming in and different things like that. If you have a fireplace, that's great as well. You can light that fireplace up. Now's the time to go start buying some like charcoal, go start buying firewood. If you live like in an area that has woods like me, like I got a lot of woods on my property, I can cut down trees and use those trees as firewood. But let's say you don't have that. You can go to Lowe's, you can go to pretty much any big box store, Walmart, and you could buy firewood. Another thing is wooden pallets. A lot of big box stores like Lowe's and different things like that, they'll give away wooden pallets for free. So you can go and buy wooden pallets, and you can, like, outside, of course, not inside your home, but outside, you can set those pallets on fire, you know what I'm saying, with a bunch of other wood, and that will keep you warm. You'll be able to provide yourself a fire. But indoor specifically, if you have a fireplace, that's great. If you have indoor heaters, that's great. That's why I say you need a generator so you can plug these things up. But let's just say you don't have a heater or anything like that indoors and you want to stay warm. Layer your clothes. Make sure you're wearing wool, cotton clothes, real material. If you got, you know, leather jackets, different things like that, so you can stay warm. You know, block off the bottom of the doorway so that way the draft is not coming through, you know, and coming through. Like I say, unused rooms in your house, make sure you close those doors. Make sure you cover the bottom of the door entrance so draft isn't coming through, and you can, you know, get huddled up in one specific place and kind of stay warm. Another thing is this too, like say you don't have a heater, or you know, you don't go plan to buy a heater, you can also buy a sleeping bag. You can go to like different little cheap stores and you can buy sleeping bags. That will keep you warm as well, because the objective is to stay warm. You don't want to get any type of frostbite, you know what I mean? You don't want to be too cold and shivering and different things like that. You want to be warm. So that's the first objective, to stay warm. Again, don't try to burn no fires in your house. Now, if you got a fireplace, then of course you can use firewood for that. But as far as that's as far as it goes. Do not try to burn anything in your house or nothing like that. That's dangerous. All right, so the next thing is food and water. And again, these are just all suggestions. Take what applies to you, and if it doesn't apply, let it fly. But I'm just trying to give you as many solutions and as many ideas as possible so you can, you know, be able to survive, and not just survive, but be okay if this happens. So food and water. Water, first things first. Right now, I mean, yes, you can go buy your cases of water. Don't get me wrong, you can go do that. But also, if you got jugs, if you have buckets and different things like that, fill as many of those up right now as you can. You know, like I got a bunch of buckets on my property, you know, 5-gallon buckets. I'm gonna fill those up. I got the big water jugs, you know, the big blue ones. I can fill those up with water. If you got water bottles, you know, that you were gonna throw away, you can use those and fill those up with water, because you can never have too much water. Because again, if it's gonna be freezing, what does that mean? That means that a lot of the times the water is not going to come out the faucet. It's going to be frozen, so it's going to be hard for you to get water, and that's one of the main things you need. You can only go so long without water. You can go a lot longer without food than you can without water. You're still going to need to bathe. You're still going to need water to drink. So right now, start, if you can go to the store, and don't panic buy. But if you can go to the store, go buy you some jugs of water, go buy you some cases of water. And then the next option, if you don't feel like that, or if you feel like that's not going to be enough, start filling up different jugs and containers with water right now, different buckets and totes and storage bins. You can fill those up with water right now and just have those just in case as a reserve. Now let's talk about food. You know, of course, you probably already got a pantry with food and different things like that, but I suggest things like flour. Go get you a big bag of flour, because you can make, you know, you can make bread and different things like that. Beans, canned goods like beans, chickpeas, black beans, pinto beans, any type of beans that give you high protein, those things are good. Canned soups, canned fish. You know, we're talking survival. We're not talking, you know, trying to be health conscious right now. We're talking getting through this winter storm if it does impact how they say it's going to impact. So you want to get things that's going to keep you full. You want to get things that are going to be simple to cook, right? So like I say, beans, flour, what else can you get? Canned fish, canned chicken, different things like that, rice. Things that are going to stick to you, carbs and protein. That's what you want to get. And then, okay, how do we go about cooking those foods, right? One thing I would recommend, let's say you have a fireplace where you're at. You can cook on your fireplace. You can cook right on top of that firewood. You know what I mean? If you have a generator and you can plug up some sort of electric griddle, you know what I mean? Or if you have like a propane type of a grill or something like that, you can cook on that as well. If you got a regular grill, that's why I say get some charcoal. If you got a regular grill, you can cook, you know, on your regular grill, under that charcoal, under that wood. But it's just a matter of what fits you the most. You know, what accommodates your lifestyle. If you live in an apartment, you know what I mean, then you want to be able to have something where, like a little grill that you could put outside on your balcony. One of those little cheap grills you can get from Walmart, and you can cook on top of that. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of ways to do it, but whatever suits your lifestyle, whatever is accommodating to you, then that's what you need to do. But you need to have something to where you can warm up food and cook food, and you need to have those type of staples in your pantry, like I just named, like the beans, the rice, the pasta, the canned meats, whether it be canned fish, canned chicken, you know, the flour, you know, and like I said, of course, having your water too, you know, whether you're buying cases of water or whether you're filling up jugs or buckets or whatever you are, but having those things for your survival, so that way you'll have something to eat and something to drink. All right, so let's talk about animals and livestock, right? Like if you're like me, you're a homesteader, you may have chickens, goats, sheep, dogs, turkeys. You know, you want to be able to keep your animals warm in this time. So depending on what your layout is, like you want to bring some of your animals inside, especially if you got like dogs and cats. You know, try to bring them inside. So like me, for example, if the temperature drops too low, then I'm going to bring my dogs inside of my garage, right? But if, let's just say, you know, you got the proper setup outside, make sure you're insulating their areas with extra straw, extra hay, pine shavings, whatever you put down. Also making sure that they're not getting a lot of the breeze. Make sure that their area is to the point to where they can get out of the breeze, get out of the wind, because the cold is dangerous in this time, especially if the wind is blowing. That can cause more harm than anything, right? Another thing is this too. You want to increase their feed, because animals burn more calories trying to keep warm. That goes for any type of animal. They're going to burn more calories trying to keep warm. So you want to be able to feed them more, so that way as they're burning calories, they're not burning too much calories and they're able to stay warm. And here's the last thing with animals. You want to be able to keep them dry because again, they're saying it's going to be snowing in some places, and they're saying it's going to be ice in some places. So you want to be able to keep them dry, keep them out of the water, keep them out of the wetness, because the wetness combined with the cold it spells disaster. You're talking about frostbite. You're talking about potentially animals freezing to death. So you want to be able to keep them warm, keep their paws warm, their feet warm, you know, keep them to the point where they can get out of, you know, the snow or the ice, and keep them to the point where they can be insulated somewhere and they're not exposed to the elements. All right, here's the next thing. Let's talk about, you know, power and having electricity and stuff like that. I already told you about generators and stuff, but here's the thing. These are some things that you can start doing right now to ensure that, you know, you will have some sort of electricity. Make sure you charge your phones up, all your devices. Make sure all your devices are charged up. And let's say you have portable chargers, make sure those are charged up as well. Make sure you gas up now. Make sure you got full tanks in your vehicles, but also make sure you have some gas cans filled just in case, you know, for your generator and different things like that. So you will have fuel, you know, for your generator, for your car, whatever the case may be. So fuel up now. Make sure you're charging all your batteries, you know what I mean? Computers, phones, tablets, everything like that. Make sure if you have solar powered flashlights or solar powered lights, make sure that they're getting charged by the sun right now, so that way you could be able to use them. Also, it wouldn't hurt to go out and buy a few flashlights, you know, or a few type of candles or something like that, but I would recommend flashlights, you know, that way you'll have some sort of light if your power does go out. Those are some of the tips that I feel like are the most important right now to prepare for what's to come, whether it does or doesn't happen, whether it impacts like they say or whether it doesn't. It never hurts to be prepared, because proper preparation prevents poor performance. But here's the thing, the mindset you need to have right now: preparedness over panicking. You don't want to go out panic buying and doing, no. Just prepare. You don't have to go and get all the things off the shelf. No, just get what you need and keep it pushing, you know. But you want to just be prepared just in case it does happen. We're gonna hope for the best, prepare for the worst, and just keep your eye out on everything, you know. Keep your eye out on the elements and the weather. If you got animals, make sure that you're watching them and doing your due diligence, you know what I mean. But just making sure that you're prepared for what's to come. That's the bottom line of it. Also, if you have like elderly neighbors or disabled neighbors, make sure you're checking on them as well. Make sure that they're all right. You know what I mean? Don't just look out for yourself. Look out for the people around you as well. And here's the thing. Stay at home if possible. If you got to leave, I understand that, but try to stay at home. Try to stay warm. Try to stay in one location. All your family, stay in one location until this thing blows over, and until, you know, help arrives if you are affected, or until, you know, this whole winter storm just passes, and, you know, whatever it does in your area, that's what it does. But try to stay at home if possible. Don't be trying to be out and, you know, this place, that place, because you can get stuck somewhere, and that's dangerous. And you can get stuck in your car, or you can get stuck in the elements. You don't want to do that. You want to stay where you are. All right, so that's all I got for you. If this video was helpful, please drop a comment down below, you know, what you learned and what you plan to do. And if your area is expected to get hit, drop a comment down below and let me know that information. But man, I pray for everybody. I'm praying for everybody, you know, and we'll see what it does. Again, I'm hoping for the best, but at the same time, I'm preparing for the worst. And that's what we teach over here: self-sufficiency, being prepared, because we want to make sure that not only are we surviving, but we're thriving through any situation, whether it's a natural disaster, whether it's something with the society or the government or with the economics. You know, we want to make sure that we're good regardless, and we're able to provide our own food, we're able to survive, we're able to provide our basic necessities. So with that, man, like I always like to say, if you give them the power to feed you, you give them the power to starve you. See y'all on the next one.
Bombs over Baghdad really ain't that bad. Little wiretap, yes, yes. Little dodge in the IRS. Little haven from the taxman.